What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I picked up some more fragrances from Fragrance Buy. I can't help myself. At least once a month I buy some fragrances, usually more than once a month. They had a restock on a few things that I was interested in checking out, and some of these I've smelled already. I've done the first impressions on two of them. One I have a decant of, and then there are two that I have never tried. Some clones of two personal favorites of mine that are supposedly really accurate and really good. So I want to be my own judge. So we're going to bust these open and check them out. Stay tuned. So in case you guys were wondering, apparently this is the tester box for Paco Rabanne now, but a tester of 1 Million Royale. I did first impressions at Frankfurt when I had a layover at a duty free. Then I have a decant of Victory Elixir from Paco Rabanne, so two Paco Rabanne fragrances. So I'm pretty familiar with this one for the most part. It's been a little while since I've smelled it. Then the two clones. So from Fragrance World, we have F Le Parfum, which is supposed to be a pretty spot-on interpretation of Y Le Parfum, which is important for two things. One, Y Le Parfum is one of my favorite blue fragrances, and two, Y Le Parfum is my favorite version of Y, so I had to check this one out. And then lastly, one of my recent kind of love affair fragrance designer pickups that I've had is 1 Million Parfum. So Lattafa has Fakhar Gold, which is supposed to be pretty damn spot on of 1 Million Parfum. So when it's something I really enjoy, I'm curious to see what some of these clones are. So that's why I grabbed these two. So I'm gonna bust them all open and then we'll check them out. So we're gonna start this show with Lattafa's Fakhar Gold. So I've tried Fakhar Black, which is YEDP, and it's a slightly spicier take on YEDP. It actually is really good. So having tried that at my buddy Nathan's house, Paragon Fragrances, for those of you, that's how you'll know him on YouTube, I have high hopes that this will be pretty accurate. So let's see. Cap holds into place, clicks pretty well, decent. Let's see what we're working with. Really good atomizer. Yeah, that's clearly 1 Million Parfum. Seems a little more tropical and more sunscreen than the original, though. It's spicy, sweet bubblegum, like the whole 1 Million theme. There's something tropical about it, more so than the original. Dare I say this is even better for the warm weather just based on the scent profile than the actual thing it's cloning. It's pretty damn good. It is pretty damn good. I would say it's like 90% or better in the opening, at least, of 1 Million Parfum. But it's not drastically different. I mean, half the price of what you can get 1 Million Parfum at discounters for, basically, is what you can get this for. This was $30 some odd, right under 40. And I got a 1 Million Parfum tester, 100 ml, came in a white tester box for 70 something. So, kind of half price. Pretty accurate though. Bubblegum fresh, tropical, a little bit of sunscreen going on. I like it. Let's pull up these notes.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Okay, so here are the notes. Tuberose, salt, ambergris, manoi, oil, leather, cashmeran, labdanum, and pine. So not the exact same note breakdown. That salt makes the difference. It makes sense to me that it is a little saltier. That might be that facet. But there's a fruity, tropical feel that's kind of void of the 1 Million Parfum scent profile for the real deal. This definitely has more of the sunscreen feel. I don't find the tuberose is as dense as the original. In some ways, I kind of think I would like this more on a hot day than 1 Million Parfum. Not too shabby. You know what? We'll go ahead and rate them as we go instead of doing it all at the end. But this right here, this is really good. This is great. This is an 8 out of 10. Would I take it over 1 Million Parfum? I don't think so. But it's pretty damn close. If you don't want to spend 70, 80 bucks on the real deal, you can spend 30 some odd dollars, and this is just as good. Yeah, it's great. 8 out of 10. Now we're going with Fragrance World's F Le Parfum, which is Y Le Parfum. So we're starting with both clones. Cap's pretty hefty. Has that knurling defect to it. I'm kind of digging that. So let's see what we're working with here. This is only my second fragrance from Fragrance World. Really good atomizer. Aldehydes, grapefruit, lemon. The opening is not 1-to-1. This is actually fresher than Y Le Parfum. This is a fresher opening. But it's pretty close in scent profile. It's a little bit fresher though. I have to say, it's got more of an airiness to it. But it still has that fizzy citric smell. Fizzy citrus, a little fruity from the apple smell. A fresh, spicy feel. It's aromatic. It is pretty good in this opening, I have to say. A little bit more airy. Maybe it's just the type of aldehydes. Maybe it's just a different balancing of percentages with the oils. I don't know. Could be the way it's blended. Ooh, it's settling in fast, though. This is a little bit spicier than Y Le Parfum. Again, though, I would say this is every bit of 90% accurate just in the opening. Just in this opening blast, this is every bit of 90% accurate. This makes me so happy. Because I'm sparing with Y Le Parfum because I have a 60 ml. And don't get me wrong, 60 ml is going to last me a really long time, but I have a feeling by the time I would want another bottle or need another bottle, it will have long been discontinued. And for like 20 some odd dollars I paid for this, I don't remember exactly. It's pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. Even if the performance is not exactly the same, which I'm sure this will still perform pretty well. If I get 6 hours, I'm happy. I get more 8 to 10. More like 10 hours, really, with Y Le Parfum. If I get close to that, what a great pickup this will have been for me. As it settles, it's more and more Y Le Parfum. This is at minimum 90% accurate or better. It's getting closer and closer as it, like that alcohol wore off at this point. And it is Y Le Parfum. This is damn good. Let's pull up these notes.
More moments later.
Okay, so it was kind of hard to find some notes for this one, but based on what I'm reading here, it seems to be the exact same note breakdown. It's like 95% now. It's starting to get into the heart. The ginger's really popping here, making it spicy. Apple fruity smell, a lot of sage, musky ambergris. This is pretty much spot on. So as far as the notes I'm seeing here, the top's ginger, mint, lemon, bergamot, aldehydes. The heart is apple, sage, violet leaf, geranium, and pineapple. And in the base, you're looking at amber, vetiver, white cedar, incense, and musk. Pretty accurate for the most part. I don't remember exactly. I don't think that's a 1-to-1 note breakdown, but it smells pretty spot on. It smells a little bit spicier than Y Le Parfum. 9 out of 10. Outstanding. And that's mainly because I love what it's cloning, and they knocked it out the park. They nailed this. Kudos, Fragrance World. Not everybody's going to think to clone a synthetic mid-level designer fragrance, but F Le Parfum is Y Le Parfum, but a little bit spicier. They killed it. 9 out of 10. Next, we're going to give a sniff to Victory Elixir. So the lighting's not really offering up that blue at the bottom. You can kind of see it a little bit right there. Just the way the lighting's working out, you can't really see the blue. But it's the blue to black gradients. And we're going to go right here on top of the forearm. One good spray. What I remember of it was very much smoky vanilla amber. That's what I remember. It's been a little while. It's been a few months since the last time I sprayed the decant. I've been holding off to get a bottle. I knew I was going to get a bottle. I got the original Victory recently. Been enjoying that one. Oh, yeah, this is so much more resinous and smoky. Yeah, this is superb. This is better than Victory. Smoky vanilla, but rich and resinous. This is dark. Dark smoky vanilla. A little spiced. Warm. It's going to be a killer for the cooler weather. Such a good release for them this year. Such a good release. It's like it's a darker, creamy vanilla, and a lot of olibanum. A lot of olibanum. It's rich, resinous, and smoky. Oh, this is so good, guys. If you haven't tried this one yet, especially if you're a fan of the original, this is superior. Now, you won't realize how much fresher Victory is over Victory Elixir until you smell the Elixir. Then you'll be like, wow, that's way dense. Way more on the dense side of things. It's very rich, very strong. But it smells incredible. Let's pull up the notes.
12 seconds later.
So, sweet, synthetic, spicy, gourmand, and fruity. Yes, yes, and more yes. Vanilla, amber, tonka bean, frankincense, and patchouli. This is great. This is absolutely an 8.5 out of 10 fragrance. It's not my absolute favorite in the Invictus line, but it's up there. I think it's an improvement on Victory. You have to like sweet and smoky because it's very much a sweet and smoky fragrance. And you also have to like vanilla because it does dry down into vanilla. So if, you know, kind of your average run-of-the-mill darker vanilla fragrances aren't for you, because the majority of the character that will draw you in is in the opening of the fragrance, as with most designers. As it dries, it's a creamy vanilla with a little bit of a woodsy tone to it, slight woodsy tone, and it gets a little powdery. If you like stuff like that, you will like this. This is one of the better takes on that style of fragrance, if you will. 8.5 out of 10 for Victory Elixir. Last but not least, 1 Million Royale. So I remember this being woodier and devoid of the rose from 1 Million Elixir. It was one spray, one time at a duty-free in an airport. So it's been 6 months since that happened. That was in February. At the recording of this, it's literally the 25th of August. So, oh, that does smell lovely out in the air. We get a little bit of alcohol still there. We're going to kind of wave that off just a tad and get rid of some of that alcohol. A little on the rich side as far as sweet, but not as sweet as a lot of the others. Even not quite as sweet as the Elixir flanker. There's a nice spicy tone and, like I said, much more of a woody fragrance. This is dominated by woods for the most part. Even early on, I get a strong woody facet to this one. A little bit of an earthy, creamy tone. Yeah, if the playful sweetness of most of the 1 Million flankers isn't for you in this line, maybe this is the one to visit and see if it's for you. Because, yes, there's always going to be some kind of sweetness going on in these 1 Million fragrances. That's what they're known for. It's a sweet fragrance line. But it's not near the sweetness of a 1 Million Parfum, the original 1 Million, 1 Million Lucky, even 1 Million Privé, the discontinued gem, or 1 Million Elixir. This is not as sweet as that, which that wasn't the sweetest fragrance in the world compared to the others. Nice woody tone with a light vanillic backdrop and a little bit of creaminess. Let's pull these notes up.
10 seconds later.
So, sweet, spicy, woody, synthetic, gourmand. Bergamot, cardamom, mandarin orange, lavender, sage, and violet leaf. So there's that freshness for sure. You get a lot of the violet leaf. Gives a little bit of a metallic feel. Then benzoin, patchouli, and cedarwood. So I get a lot of cedarwood early and often from this fragrance. I get woods from the start. I wasn't sure what the woody note or notes were, but apparently it's cedarwood. And there's a nice aromatic feel to it, so I'm not surprised to see lavender and sage. It's been so long since I looked at the notes, I did not remember what they were at all. But the woody facet really stands out to me. Even though there's no vanilla listed, that benzoin must be given that vanillic tone, because there is a vanillic sweetness to this fragrance. It's a little fruity, but I wouldn't call it super fruity. Like, I wouldn't even list that as a top accord. Like, it's not one of the top accords, actually. More gourmand. Now, I don't necessarily agree with gourmand being a top 5 accord for this, but everybody interprets things differently, to each their own. It's basically a lightly floral aromatic feel, a lot of woodiness, a light sweet tone with a little bit of a fruity nuance, kind of just hovering in the backdrop, never really takes the lead with this fragrance. So if I remember correctly, my first impression back then was like a 7.5, and I think I came back in the video and bumped it to an 8, and I think that's still what it is. It's still an 8 out of 10. It's still great, but not quite. Like, this is the best fragrance of the two with these designer releases from Paco Rabanne, but it's still an 8 out of 10. That's a great rating. It's literally in my rating scale, falls under great. If you haven't tried this yet and you're looking for one of the less sweet takes on the DNA, this is not as sweet as many of the other offerings. This might be the one for you. Well, that was my genuine first impressions on the two clones and revisit of two of the designer releases from this year. And until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. Have you tried any of these four? What do you think about them if you have? I'm going to have links down below to all of them. If you're interested in picking them up, they'll be linked to Fragrance Buy down below. No, they didn't send these my way. I did purchase these. I buy a lot of fragrances from them on a monthly basis. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of these four and you give them a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.